Alrighty, Patriots, what I need you to do is open your packets up to the assignment in 14.1. Open all the way up to the assignment, and I'm going to start teaching you from there. So this assignment is going to introduce you to the idea of probability. Now, this isn't on the assignment itself, but let's talk about what probability is. So what is probability? Probability defines the likelihood of an occurrence of an event. So how you are going to see that written, you're going to see a big P, and then we're going to list whatever the event is in parentheses, and it's going to equal a fraction. So it is the number of favorable outcomes over the total number of outcomes for that event. So it's going to be the number of items desired over the total number of items or outcomes. When I say items, it could also be outcomes. Now, when we do a probability can be written as a fraction, a decimal, or a percent. All probabilities are going to fall between 0 and 1 inclusive. So if you think of probability as a segment, you can go from 0 to 1. 0 means that something is impossible. It will never, ever, ever happen. 1 is a certainty. It must happen. And then right in the middle, we have 1/2, which is a 50-50 proposition. So now we can write all of our probabilities as fractions, decimals, or percents. The closer we are to 1, the more likely we are to happen. The closer we get to 0, the more unlikely we are to happen. Okay, so if you look at this on a number line, if I give you the probability of, let's move that down a little bit. Let me see if I can move this down. Let me move it. Let's say I give you the probability of 1/4, which would be 0.25 or 25%. 1/4 is less likely to happen than 1/2. 0.25 is less likely to happen than 0.5. If we come over here and let's say I do 3/4, that would be 0.75 or 75%. 75% is more likely to happen than 50% because it's closer to 1. If we are closer to 1, you are more likely to happen, with 1 being a certainty and 0 being an impossibility. So let's look at some examples. So if you're looking at number 1, it says the probability, this is read as the probability of event A is 0.2 and the probability of point B is 0.6. Which is more likely to occur? Which of these is more likely to occur? So remember, the closer you are to 1, the more likely you are to happen. So when you're looking at this one, you need to ask yourself, which of these is closer to 1, 0.2 or 0.6? So for questions 2, 3, and 4, I want to know whether this is or each of these values a probability. So remember, probabilities, to be a probability, you have to start at 0 and you end at 1. So are there any of these that don't meet that criteria? Probabilities can be any number between 0 and 1. So ask yourself, are any of these less or outside of that range? Alrighty, so go ahead and answer these 4 questions, and then you can start the next video for the next set of questions.